I would retwist my hair at night, but I wouldn't do any sort of shed hair
Mom,
removal.
can I have more pepper sips?
Hi beauties, it's Ari T. I'm going to talk to you today about tangles. What is causing your hair to be tangled? How should you properly detangle your hair and prevent tangles? All of those little things, because I realized recently that I don't really suffer from tangles at all really anymore. And I used to actually consider my hair to be tangle prone. Like, through time I've realized that I don't really think that tangle prone is even a thing. I think it really just boils down to a few simple things that you're doing day to day and weekly that is causing your hair to get tangled and to stay tangled. So let's go through some topics. So the most basic thing to start with is, what are you doing day to day with your hair? How are you styling it? Are you wearing your hair in wash and goes? Are you wearing your hair in updos? Are you wearing your hair in protective styles currently? How are you styling your hair? The way that you style your hair in conjunction with what your nighttime routine looks like is going to have a big impact on whether or not your hair is tangled or untangled. When you're wearing protective styles, your shed hairs aren't able to just shed out of your head the way that they normally would. So we shed approximately 100 hairs a day. When you're in a protective style and you're not able to comb through your hair weekly, that hair is just getting all wound around all of the hair that's still attached, and that can create tangles. I'm thinking about like a bun or like a puff, those types of styles. If you're not taking those styles down every few days to go through your hair, then it's much more likely that you're going to have tangles, because again, the shed hairs are going to start wrapping around the other strands and gonna cause tangles. Back during the time where I was really struggling with tangles, I was wearing a lot of twist outs, and I think the mistake that I was making was that I would retwist my hair at night, but I would just do really light finger detangling, and I wouldn't take the time or pay the attention to remove the shed hair at that time. And so it goes back to that same issue I mentioned before, that shed hair wrapping around the other strands of hair and creating tangles, so that when you do go through your hair to do like a thorough detangling, you're just finding so many tangles, and you're going to find a lot of hair in your brush and your comb, or if you're finger detangling, you're going to find that a lot of hair is coming out on your fingers just because you haven't been routinely removing the shed hair, and that is going to cause tangles for sure. In addition to your day-to-day, how are you washing your hair? What does your wash regimen look like? After you wash your hair and you detangle a section, or you detangle your whole head, what are you doing after that? Are you letting your hair dry after you've detangled it without keeping it stretched? I've seen a lot of people on YouTube, they will wash a section of their hair and then just kind of like bun and clip it away. Actually take the time to braid that section or twist that section so that it stays stretched and stays detangled, because if you just wind it up and plop it on your head in a clip, there's a really good chance that as your hair starts drying and that stretched out state that it's in, it starts kind of coiling up and tangling around each other, you get tangles. Let's talk about how you're detangling your hair. What tools are you using? Are you using a wide tooth comb? Are you using a fine tooth comb? Are you using your fingers? What are you using? The way that you detangle your hair is going to also have a big impact on it if you're actually effectively detangling your hair. During the time that I was struggling with a lot of tangles, most of the time, I was really only detangling my hair like once a month. So that in and of itself kind of shows you the fact that my hair is going to be pretty tangled if I'm not really taking the time to go through it and get tangles out and remove shed hair anytime but once a month. So when you're detangling your hair, you really want to make sure that you're detangling from the ends to the roots. For a lot of us, we tangle at the root and because of shed hair. So you really want to make sure that you're going through it and getting all of the tangles out from root to tip. How are you detangling? Are you detangling effectively? And the same concept as when you're detangling your hair as you're washing it. if you detangle a section and you're not ready to style it yet, instead of just like twisting and clipping it away, braid it or twist it so that it stays detangled until you're ready to style it. If you followed all of these steps and you're doing everything right and you still have tangles, you might just need a trim. If you're experiencing a lot of tangling and you're keeping your hair stretched all the time, you're removing your shed hairs, that's the only thing that left that could be causing your hair to become tangled all the time. If you've ever had a fresh trim and like you styled your hair that like those first couple of weeks, you know how much easier it is to style your hair, right? So take that information and run with it. If you're experiencing a lot of tangles in your hair and you're following all of these other steps, just go in and get a trim. If you would like a tutorial on trimming your hair from me, I will be more than happy to do that, as I am planning to trim my own hair soon. I hope that this information was helpful. If you do have any questions or you have suggestions to help me or anyone else help her, leave a comment below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.
Remember those steps, please?